G'day legends, I hope you're all amazing. On today's video, we're checking out the new Eventide RIPTIDE pedal. This combines an overdrive and a univibe into one pedal. Furthermore, you have two selectable modes for each effect, and you can change the order that they are processed in. The pedal has stereo ins and outs. It's got MIDI via TRS. You can hook up external switches and expression pedals, and there is a USB editor. Before we dive any further into the specs and the isolated tones, I feel we should hear this over a little jam with a Strat. Let's go. Disclaimer before we go any further, Eventide did send me this unit to make this video. In fact, I was a beta tester in the pre-release and I made some factory presets for it. Let's hear some isolated tones now. The jam that you just heard, I was running the pedal in stereo, and if you listen closely, especially with the vibe tones, you can hear some interesting left to right motion going on along with the usual univibe style modulation in there. I'm going to run this in mono now. We will hear some more stereo isolated tones towards the end. The other thing is it's an Eventide device that's pretty much what you see is what you get. You've got two separate effects with their own foot switches, with their own dedicated knobs, no secondary functions. You certainly don't need the software editor hooked up here to get the most out of it. Your Univibe has three controls: vibe, which essentially is going to be like a mix control. You've got speed and intensity. Then the drive section has pretty typical controls: drive, tone, and level. The other thing to keep in mind is that each mode has two versions, a green and a red version. I'll show you how to access those, and you can also flip-flop the order, so you can go drive into vibe or vibe into drive. Let's start off with the vibe section. I'll let you hear my clean sound. Neck pickup of the Strat. I'm just running this in front of an ODS clean amp in my Axe FX3 with a tiny amount of reverb. Let's hear it, and then the vibe. lots and lots of range in just those 3 controls on there, and you can see by pressing this little indicator button on here, the green mode sounds a lot smoother and throbbier, more kind of classic uni vibe, whereas the red mode almost sounds like it's edging on that square wave style modulation. It's a lot more intense, and for me it kind of works better if you want those really wild and wet uni-vibe tones. The green mode is, again, just a little more kind of classic and vintage. Before we go and hear the drive, I'll let you hear the difference between this in mono and stereo. I really, really like it in stereo. I think it's a real kind of unique feature of this particular pedal. We'll return to that stereo setting in just a little bit. That is one thing that I really enjoy on the H90 Even Vibe algorithm. However, having the 2 different modes on here kind of sets this pedal apart from that algo on the H90. Drives. Again, 2 modes. There's a green one and a red one. The overall feel is pretty similar with them. I think they have more in common than they have different. But having said that, depending on the guitar setup you're using, you're probably going to prefer one or the other. I'll let you hear it with a Strat for both drives, and then I'll let you hear some humbuckers on both drives. Again, same bass starting point, then we'll try the combinations and we'll hear drive into vibe and vibe into drive. Green mode to me sounds a little more traditional Tube Screamer style. There's definitely a bit of a mid hump in there, whereas the red mode is, and this is weird to say for something that's adding distortion, it's a little more transparent, so a little more full range. I'm going to turn the drive all the way down to 0, level all the way up, and we will hear them into something a little crunchier with humbuckers now. my taste, with a Strat, having the drive up around noon, the level just above noon, and the tone just below noon kind of does the trick. So let's hear some drive and vibe combinations now, because that's really what this pedal is all about. I'm going to start out by just adding some uni-vibe to the clean sound, then I will kick in the drive side, then we'll change the order and have a listen carefully for how running drive in front of the vibe kind of changes the character and vice versa. It's amazing how having two contrasting effects and being able to change the order of them gives you so many tonal possibilities. One thing that I like about the stereo functionality on this unit is that you can set the vibe up with the speed at minimum and kind of use the intensity control like a faux stereo doubler or something like that. And then of course, kick in the drive side set up as a boost. So I'll show you that with the super filthy sound. That's always my yardstick for something that is using digital technology to, say, recreate some old analog gear. One, can you kind of capture some of the original vibe? But two, can you take it further and can you use the possibilities that modern digital gear gives us? You know, being able to swap the order of the two pedals, having the two modes on each of the two different effects, and being able to do fun stuff like that kind of stereo widening trick, having the ability to save presets via MIDI, stereo ins and out, and a USB editor on there are all just really lovely things in there that I think any digital product shouldn't have. So that's it for today. That is the RIPTIDE by Eventide. I'll actually play you out with some factory presets that I have put together for this unit. If you want to learn more about it, check the video description. And thank you to the team at Eventide for sending this unit out to me and having me as part of the team as a beta tester, or a beta tester as I would like to say. If you like what I'm doing here on the channel, you can check the video description for a variety of different ways you can support what I'm doing here. Otherwise, have a great day, keep it greasy, and I'll see you next time.